Hello ladies, Mental Chan, and welcome to the T95 review, the American Tier 9 tank destroyer, as you probably all know. Well, this comes after the T28, which in my opinion was utter shit, probably the worst tier TD I've ever played, and the T95 isn't that bad actually. It shares the same flaw, which is the speed, but this thing actually has armor, and a lot of it, and it has a good gun, not like the T28. So I sorta like this tank. It's annoying to play and grind like non-stop all day. I can't do that, even I can. But as playing it 1 to 10 times a day, it's not that horrible. It gets the job done. The problem is this shitty top speed. I mean, it's even slower than T28. Not by much, but you can feel it. Usually in T95 you have two types of games. Either the T95 decides to troll you, or the T95 decides to troll the enemy. And there's not much you can do if it decides to troll you, or there's not much you have to do when it decides to troll the enemies, because the armor is reliable, but the cupolas are kind of big, so you don't want to really be in close range, and people always can load gold, so you're kind of at the mercy of the enemy incompetency or their incapability of loading gold rounds, or yeah, you know what I mean. So to be a successful T95 driver, you have to think where you want to go with, judging by your speed. You can't decide which was going to be the best position for you. Like, for instance, go something like what it is, D5 or something, D6. You can't do that. You can, like, I changed my mind 3 times in this game where I want to go, just because I realized that I was too slow and I'm gonna get there when the game is gonna be over. But from the other hand, going middle like I am now is quite risky, because the T95, if you get flanked, it's fucked. So you have to really watch your flanks, or you have to trust your teammate to cover your ass, because you can't defend yourself when the enemies are close. The reload of the gun is 15 seconds. It's 15 centimeter gun, 750 alpha, 275 penetration. It's pretty damn good gun. It's the same gun on T30 with a bit better stats, so it's alright. No complaints about the gun. Gun is actually pretty damn good compared to the shitty pea shooter you got on the T28. This is actually really good. And this game is going on for like 3 minutes, and I still haven't fired a single shot. It's probably gonna take me about 3 minutes to fire my first shot, but that's just how the T95 is. Some games you can fire like 2 shots just because the enemies weren't on the flank you were on. So T95 requires experience in driving the T95, because sometimes it's just the enemies are not where you're aiming at, and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't show ass to tier 10 guns. They kind of hurt. But then again, an aggressive play T95, if you don't die instantly, is much better than a T95 that camps base for an entire game, because especially when you're top tier, when you're like this a tier 10 game, there's a lot of people that can carry the game. You don't have to be the one. But when there's like you and 2 other tier 9s against the enemy team, then you really have to perform, and you have to be aggressive, and you have to use that armor. Otherwise your team's just gonna lose, because they have more tier 9s if you're doing nothing. So that's something to look out for. You really wanna use this tank. Usually though, this tank doesn't have the games like the T28 where you take half a game to drive somewhere and then the enemies just kill you instantly. This tank can take a beating. It's not a T28 anymore. But you have to be careful. You have to know the tank's weaknesses. Like, if you face downwards, your top of the tank will become really easy to shoot for the enemies, and that's not a good thing. And now again, I'm too late here. I changed my mind again. I turn around and go the other way, and that's how the T95 kind of plays. You realize that you're gonna be late for half of the shit that you want to do, and you just go away. Yeah, what I was talking is the top armor. You'll be able to see here. The T28 that I laughed about will show me how it's done. So first of all, if you see a T28, don't shoot his gun mantlet. That's what's right into the gun mantlet. And he spent my top. He didn't even aim for the cupola. That's not the cupola that he hit. He hit the top armor, the roof armor, which is really thin. So that's not a big surprise that that panned. And the second shot, when I wasn't facing downwards anymore, didn't pan because he couldn't aim properly anymore. And this game looks quite alright at the moment. We're winning quite comfortably 5-3, and it looks like this should be an easy game. The Leopard is fucking around somewhere, so it shouldn't be a big problem to win this game. But our team proves that even when the game is almost impossible to lose, you can still fuck up really hard. prefer the engagements with the T95 would be like 200 meters, something like that, so the enemies can't snipe your corpus too easily, but you can't really dictate that. This tank cannot dictate the terms of engagement, so where you are, you have to just try to take positions where the enemies might appear around like 100 meters away from you, but you can't count on it. So for equipment, primer, vent, I use optics because I like to do silly shit with it, but heavy spotliner probably is the thing you want to use on it. This is some shitty battle blind shedding. I don't know why, but I thought he was on the side of the rock, but he really wasn't. So these shots were a complete waste of time. He wasn't even there at the first place if he didn't drive back from where it was originally. So that was a complete waste of ammo. But yeah, the T95, most of the games, it's either it trolls you or it trolls the enemy team, and that's the way of things. And when it trolls you, it's kind of sour because it takes a lot of time to get to the enemy team, and again, a complete waste of shot. I don't know why I was thinking he was there, but he clearly wasn't. And as you see, our team tried to do everything possible to lose this game, but I am in a really bad position at the moment. They're behind me, they're in front of me. It's really bad for T95. The turn circle is around 40 seconds. No, wait, was it? It's 20 seconds, I think. Yeah, it's 20 seconds, not 40. 40 would be a bit too much. So it turns around complete 30-60 in around 20 seconds. So you really have to plan your shit in advance. Otherwise, you're just going to be flanked really quickly. And there's another bounce from a T34. Well, you can't aim for Corpus at this distance. Like, this is the perfect engagement. 300 meters. My gun is good enough to pen him, to pen anything really at 300 meters. So I really should prefer engagements like this. And now, I'm not doing the smart thing, but I'm hoping that they won't be able to spot me here because of the bushes in front, but they probably will be, because this tank really doesn't have a good camo value, and you should never use the camo value. This tank spots with its face. When you're getting shot in the face, then you know you're spotted, and if you have optics, you have good chances to spot the people shooting at you as well. So that's my reason why I use optics instead of spotliner. But spotliner is nice, especially now when there's some shitty RD specials that increase the number of RD in the game. Then again, I don't want to push, I don't want to show my ass to anybody, I don't want to climb a hill. Hill climbing in this tank takes like 2 dark ages, so don't do that. Now, I could take the shot on the Yak Tiger, but I'd rather kill the 5100 who would empty his clip in the E100, so it won't save shit anyways. And my tracky, it's a Tiger 2 shell, and Yak Tiger starting aiming at me, but he lost me. He clearly doesn't see me, so he's not trying to aim or shoot, and I take a first shot in his lower plate. By the way, this gun has 750 average damage. In this game, I rolled high once, and the rest of the rolls were low rolls. And here I get surprised by an STI. I really didn't think he's gonna come this way, but our T28 prototype didn't keep him spotted, so I couldn't be sure for that. And now, this guy is a complete idiot. Could be a bot, but like this basic wiggling throws his shot off, and that happens quite a lot. Like, wiggling like this can throw your enemy shots a lot, and they can fuck up really easily. And yeah, that was the only low roll in this game, I believe. The 766. There's another low roll, and yeah, this tank 15-second reload is pretty damn good. It's only a bit longer than a reload on the heavy tier 9 heavy tanks, and another bounce, and I survive again. And pretty sure I'm gonna kill that guy as well, because that's not very smart, is it? Now I can turn around. I now for sure know that there's nobody behind me, so I'm fine in that aspect. And like, probably there will be argue, why do you like the T95 and you didn't like the T28? Because this tank can leave an impact on the battlefield. It's not like you take 15 minutes, 10 minutes to drive somewhere and then they just kill you with 2 shots. This tank can take a beating. This tank, you cannot not notice this tank. Wherever you go, you will get noticed, and you will get your input in the game. Not like with the T28, where you shoot twice and get penned twice and die by a fucking ISU who's camping in the other side of the map or something. This tank can really take a beating. Yeah, I have. This is one of the times where I can say I faced 2 E100s on my own, and this tank can manage to kill them both, and they didn't do any damage to me at all. This tank can do it. It's troll. It's good against bad people. It's really good against pawning noobs. Just like, sort of like the Yak Tiger, but this tank has much more troll value, because tier 10 guns can't pen it. Tier 10 guns can pen the Yak Tiger all day, every day. So This tank can really troll the enemies or troll you, whatever, whichever goes. And for this game, 6.3k damage. I didn't think I have any spotting. I'm pretty sure I didn't. And yeah, around 2k XP, but you'll see that in the end plates. And the leopard actually went back to race to the cap, so I'm not gonna get that kill or anything. But yeah, 4 kills. It wasn't a bad game. I got quite. Some might say I got lucky, but I think this armor is capable of doing what it did, and it wasn't luck that saved me. It was just the armor of the tank. Before I forget, crew skills: 6 cents, repairs. In fact, you can drop for equipment. You can use your armor toolbox and spoiler, or armor toolbox and optics, whatever you want. I have armor toolbox and optics actually. I don't have vents just because of the repair speed. For crew skills, you want also the clutch braking thingy that makes you turn faster, and that's about it. I think recon and that thing is always nice. Yeah, as you see, 6.3k damage, 4 kills, 1300 basic speed, 2000 XP with premium account. So not a bad game. T95 can deliver if it doesn't decide to troll you. If it decides to troll you, then you might be looking at something like 2k damage game or even less, and you just draw the whole game and didn't see anybody. But that's the way of things. That's the way of things with the T95. It's not really a fun tank to play, but it's bearable. It's not as bad as the T28. It's not that you get killed the moment you get spotted. This tank can take a beating. It's not bad. It actually isn't bad. And I'm kind of surprised to say that because I thought T95 will be the worst tank in this grind, but it isn't. The T28 beats it in all fronts. So yeah, I can't wait. All the flames coming from the T28 fanboys. Bring it on. But for us three, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.